Despite the involvement of several celebrated screenwriters and the guidance of a highly creative director known for setting records, the final version of Blazing Saddles that audiences cherish was not the result of meticulous planning. Instead, one of its most beloved lines emerged entirely by accident. This unexpected moment came about during filming when an improvised remark slipped out, capturing the perfect blend of humor and surprise that resonated deeply with viewers. Far from being scripted or rehearsed, this line's spontaneous nature added an authentic charm that no amount of careful scripting could replicate. Its success highlights how sometimes the best parts of a film arise from unplanned creativity rather than deliberate design, showing that even in a carefully crafted production, mistakes can turn into iconic moments. Mel Brooks brought a fresh and daring approach to directing Blazing Saddles, which helped the film become a landmark in comedy. He trusted his actors to add their own flair, encouraging improvisation that made the dialogue feel spontaneous and lively. This freedom allowed the cast to explore their characters more deeply and brought unexpected humor to the scenes. Brooks' style was not just about telling jokes, but about creating a playful environment where creativity thrived. His willingness to break traditional filmmaking rules gave the movie a unique edge, blending satire and slapstick in a way that was bold for its time. This approach made Blazing Saddles stand out as a comedic masterpiece that still resonates with audiences today. Blazing Saddles came out in 1974 and surprised many people by becoming a big hit. It broke away from the usual ways movies were made back then, mixing humor that was bold and sometimes shocking. This daring style helped it reach a wide audience, bringing together people from different backgrounds who found something to enjoy in its jokes. The film didn't follow the typical rules of comedy or westerns, which made it stand out. It showed that humor could cross boundaries and connect viewers, even when it tackled sensitive or controversial topics. Because of this, Blazing Saddles became more than just a funny movie. It became a cultural moment that challenged what audiences expected from films at the time, making it a lasting favorite for many. Blazing Saddles challenged the norms of its time by addressing sensitive issues like racism and inclusivity through sharp satire and bold humor. The film pushed the boundaries of what audiences were used to seeing on screen, making it a pioneer in the entertainment industry. By using comedy to highlight racial prejudice and social injustice, it opened up conversations that were often avoided or ignored. Its daring approach helped to break down barriers and pave the way for more open discussions about race in popular culture. The movie's impact went beyond just laughs. It became a cultural touchstone that influenced future filmmakers and shaped how Hollywood approached controversial topics. This lasting influence is a key reason why Blazing Saddles remains relevant and celebrated decades after its release. Blazing Saddles stirred controversy from the moment it was released, largely due to its bold use of racial slurs and humor that pushed the boundaries of what was considered acceptable in the 1970s. Some scenes were not originally planned, but ended up becoming iconic, adding to the film's unique character and cementing its place in cinema history. Mel Brooks, the director, took a huge gamble by refusing to cut or tone down any part of the movie, despite knowing that critics and audiences might react negatively. This refusal to compromise showed his confidence in the film's message and style, even though it risked alienating viewers and damaging his career. The film's success proved that taking such risks could pay off, as it became both a controversial and beloved comedy that challenged social norms while entertaining millions. The idea for Blazing Saddles began with a 30-page outline written by Andrew Bergman. This outline laid the foundation for what would become a full script, developed further by Mel Brooks and a team of writers that included Richard Pryor. Their collaboration brought a unique blend of humor and sharp satire to the screenplay, shaping the film's distinctive voice. Casting was a critical part of the process, especially for the roles of Sheriff Bart and the Waco Kid. Several actors were considered, including John Wayne, who ultimately declined to participate. The roles eventually went to Cleavon Little and Gene Wilder, whose performances became iconic and were key to the film's success. Their chemistry and comedic timing helped bring the story to life, making the characters memorable and the film a lasting classic. Mel Brooks worked closely with Richard Pryor, Andrew Bergman, Norman Steinberg, and Alan Uger to co-write the script for Blazing Saddles. Pryor, known for his sharp wit and fearless approach to comedy, pushed for the inclusion of racial slurs in the dialogue. His goal was to use these words, not to offend but to expose and satirize the deep-seated bigotry of the time. This bold choice helped the film stand out as a daring comedy that challenged social norms. One of the most memorable moments in the movie, where the character says, "These are the people of the land, the common clay of the New West, you know morons," was not originally written. Instead, it happened spontaneously during filming, and was so perfect that the filmmakers decided to keep it in the final version. This unscripted line added a fresh, comedic touch that captured the film's playful and irreverent spirit, showing how improvisation can sometimes create the most iconic moments in a movie. The theme song for Blazing Saddles was performed by Frankie Laine, a singer known for his serious and dramatic style. Laine was not aware that the movie was a comedy, which made his earnest delivery of the song even more amusing when paired with the film's humorous and satirical scenes. This unintentional contrast between the serious tone of the music and the comedic content of the movie added a unique layer of humor that audiences appreciated. The song itself carries the classic Western sound, which fits the setting of the film, but the fact that it was sung with genuine seriousness by Laine, who believed the movie was a traditional Western, created a subtle but effective comedic effect. This blend of earnestness and satire helped Blazing Saddles stand out, as the theme song became an iconic part of the film's identity, enhancing its playful take on Western movie tropes. The unexpected nature of the song's tone compared to the film's content is a clever example of how music can influence the mood and reception of a movie, especially when there is a mismatch between the artist's intent and the film's purpose. Mel Brooks faced a lawsuit from actress Hedy Lamarr because the film included a character named Hedley Lamarr, which sounded very similar to her own name. This legal action was settled out of court, but it added a layer of controversy and attention to the movie, increasing its notoriety. Meanwhile, the character Mongo, played by former NFL player Alex Karras, became one of the most memorable parts of the film. Mongo is especially famous for a scene where he punches a horse, a moment inspired by a story that comedian Sid Caesar shared with Brooks. This scene helped cement Mongo's place as an iconic figure in the movie, blending humor with unexpected physical comedy. These elements contributed to the film's lasting impact and the discussions around it, showing how both legal challenges and creative choices shaped its legacy. Warner Brothers executives had serious concerns about Blazing Saddles because the film contained many racial slurs and scenes that could be seen as offensive or controversial. They wanted to make big cuts to the movie to remove these parts, fearing it might upset audiences or damage the studio's reputation. However, Mel Brooks, the director and creator of the film, had final cut rights, which meant he had the power to decide what stayed in the movie and what was removed. Because of this control, Brooks refused to make the suggested cuts. He believed that the film's humor, which was sharp and unfiltered, depended on keeping the controversial scenes intact. This decision allowed the movie to keep its bold and edgy style, which helped it become a unique comedy that stood out at the time. The pushback from the studio did not stop Brooks from preserving the film's original tone, which many fans and critics later praised for its daring approach to satire and social commentary. The fact that Brooks held final cut rights was crucial in allowing Blazing Saddles to remain true to his vision and maintain the humor that made it successful. Although critics initially reacted negatively to the film, test screenings in major cities revealed that audiences loved Blazing Saddles. This positive reception from viewers encouraged the studio to give the film a wide release, which then led to its commercial success. The movie's sharp humor and provocative content challenged social norms and pushed boundaries in a way that was bold for its time. Today, Blazing Saddles is seen as a film that likely could not be made in the current cultural climate, where sensitivity to certain topics is much higher. Despite this, the film remains celebrated for its daring satire and willingness to tackle controversial issues through comedy. Its legacy endures as a unique piece of cinema that blends humor with social commentary, making it a memorable and influential work in film history. Initially, the film was known as Tex X, a working title that hinted at its Western roots, but lacked the punch that the final title would provide. Then it shifted to Black Bart, which referenced an outlaw figure, aiming to capture the rugged outlaw spirit of the Old West. However, neither of these titles quite captured the unique blend of satire and absurdity that the film embodied. Eventually, the title settled on Blazing Saddles, a name that director Mel Brooks felt perfectly summed up the movie's essence. This title combined the fiery, action-packed feel of a Western with a playful nod to the film's comedic and ridiculous nature. The choice of Blazing Saddles helped set the tone for audiences, signaling that while the movie was rooted in the Western genre, it was also a bold, irreverent take that challenged traditional expectation. This title change process reflected the filmmaker's desire to balance homage and humor, making the film memorable and setting it apart from typical Westerns. Blazing Saddles earned 3 Oscar nominations, highlighting its recognition by the film industry as a notable work. Its impact went beyond awards, as it was later preserved in the National Film Registry, a distinction that marks it as an important piece of American cinema history. This preservation ensures that future generations will have access to the film, recognizing its cultural and artistic value. Financially, the movie was a massive success, returning nearly 1,000% of its production cost in revenue. This extraordinary return demonstrated not only its popularity at the time of release, but also its lasting appeal. Even 50 years after it first hit theaters, Blazing Saddles remains a subject of discussion and analysis, showing how its influence continues to resonate with audiences and critics alike. Its blend of humor and social commentary has made it a landmark film that still sparks conversation about its themes and style. Blazing Saddles is widely regarded as one of the most significant comedies ever brought to the big screen, a film that has left an indelible mark on the landscape of satirical and provocative humor. Directed by Mel Brooks, the movie exemplifies his bold approach to comedy, using satire, parody, and exaggerated characters to entertain audiences, while pushing boundaries of social and cultural norms. It's a film that excels in its comedic execution and ensemble performances, yet one that also invites discussion on its controversial content. At its core, Blazing Saddles is a spoof of the classic Western genre, aiming to parody the cliches, tropes, and storytelling conventions of early Hollywood Westerns. The film features a vibrant cast including Cleavon Little as Black Bart, who is unexpectedly appointed sheriff of the town of Rockridge after being saved from execution. Little's portrayal is both charismatic and commanding, anchoring the film's humor and social commentary. Gene Wilder's Waco Kid provides a comically reluctant cowboy with a wry sense of humor, while Madeline Kahn's performance as the outrageous and flamboyant singer is widely celebrated. Her portrayal, which parodies classic Hollywood starlets like Marlene Dietrich, earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress, highlighting her impactful performance. The ensemble cast is one of the film's greatest strengths, with actors like Harvey Korman, John Hillerman, and Mel Brooks himself delivering sharp, memorable performances. Mel Brooks, in particular, shines as the comically corrupt Governor Hedley Lamar, embodying the absurdity and parody of political figures. The film's humor relies heavily on its exaggerated characters, and clever satire, making it a delight for fans of comedic filmmaking that doesn't shy away from layering jokes within jokes. However, Blazing Saddles also contains elements that have sparked significant controversy and debate. Its use of racial slurs, particularly the frequent employment of the N-word, is rooted in its satirical purpose, aimed at ridiculing racist stereotypes and highlighting the absurdity of racial prejudice. While some viewers interpret this as a bold, satirical critique intended to expose and criticize racism, others find it offensive and uncomfortable, especially given the film's frequent and unflinching use of such language. It is important to acknowledge that these aspects reflect the time period in which the film was made, 1974, when such language was more commonplace in media. Even if it is now widely considered inappropriate or offensive, Mel Brooks has defended the film's use of racial language as a deliberate effort to confront and mock racism, but audiences today should be aware of this context and approach the film with that understanding. Despite the controversy, many critics and fans appreciate Blazing Saddles for its sharp wit and social commentary concealed beneath its outrageous humor. It pushes boundaries to challenge societal taboos, making a statement about the absurdity of racism, prejudice, and political corruption. For some, these elements are viewed as a fearless and ultimately enlightening satire that uses humor to provoke thought and spark conversation. In terms of filmmaking, Blazing Saddles is a well-crafted comedy with rapid-fire jokes, visual gags, and memorable dialogue. The parody of Western conventions is executed with precision, and the film's pacing keeps the audience engaged from start to finish. Its cross-genre humor and meta-commentary on Hollywood and American stereotypes add layers that reward repeat viewings and analysis. In summary, Blazing Saddles remains a landmark comedy, celebrated for its inventive humor, memorable performances, and its groundbreaking willingness to confront taboo subjects through satire. It is a film that can entertain without malice, if viewed as a product of its time, but it also serves as a reminder of the evolving standards of comedy and social sensitivity. While some may find its language and themes offensive, others see it as a powerful, unapologetic critique wrapped in hilarious absurdity. As such, it continues to be a polarizing yet undeniably influential work that exemplifies the boldness of Mel Brooks' comedy and the enduring challenge of balancing humor with social responsibility. As the dust settles on the wild ride that is Blazing Saddles, the story doesn't end with the final credits. Behind the laughter and chaos, the cast's journey took turns as unexpected as the film itself. In this next segment, we'll uncover the paths these actors took after their time in the spotlight faded. Some found new fame, others faced challenges that tested their resolve, and a few transformed in ways no one could have predicted. This bonus section reveals the real lives behind the characters, offering a glimpse into the surprising twists that followed their iconic roles. Stay with us as we dive into the untold stories of the people who brought this unforgettable film to life. David Huddleston's portrayal of Olsen Johnson in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was marked by a subtle yet impactful presence that contributed to the film's sharp satire. His character, a town councilman, embodied the absurdity and hypocrisy of the era's political figures, adding depth to the comedic narrative through a grounded performance. After Blazing Saddles, Huddleston continued a steady career in film and television, often cast as authoritative or paternal figures. Despite his professional consistency, his life was not without hardship. Huddleston faced the challenges of typecasting and the struggle to find roles that matched his range beyond the comedic and character parts. Personal details reveal a man dedicated to his craft but relatively private, with no major scandals reported. He battled health issues in later years, including heart problems and strokes, which limited his public appearances. The last known information indicates that Huddleston retired quietly, living away from the spotlight until his passing in 2016. His legacy remains tied to his ability to bring authenticity to every role, leaving a subtle but lasting mark on American cinema. Robin Hilton's portrayal of Miss Stein in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was brief but memorable, marked by her striking presence and sharp delivery that added a distinct edge to the comedic chaos. Her role, though limited in screen time, showcased a blend of charm and a subtle defiance that stood out amid the film's satirical tone. After this, Hilton's career did not follow the typical trajectory of rising stardom. Instead, she drifted away from the spotlight, with few notable roles following her early work. Her life off-screen took on a more shadowed quality, marked by a series of personal struggles and a retreat from Hollywood's glare. Reports suggest that she faced challenges that included financial difficulties and a struggle to maintain privacy in an industry that often demands exposure. There were whispers of disputes and tensions with agents and studios, though much of her later life remains shrouded in silence. The last known public details place her living quietly, far from the film sets and fame that once briefly touched. No recent interviews or appearances have surfaced, leaving her current whereabouts and condition largely unknown, wrapped in a quiet mystery that contrasts sharply with her brief moment in the cinematic spotlight. Don Hillerman's portrayal of Howard Johnson in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles stands out as a subtle but memorable performance. His character, a hotel clerk, brought a dry, understated humor that contrasted sharply with the film's loud and chaotic energy. Hillerman's calm, almost aloof demeanor added a layer of grounded reality to the absurdity surrounding him, showcasing his ability to deliver nuanced roles even in a satirical setting. After Blazing Saddles, Hillerman's career took a steady climb, most famously culminating in his iconic role as Jonathan Quayle Higgins III on Magnum P.I. While Hillerman enjoyed professional success, his personal life was marked by a quieter reclusiveness. There were no scandals or public controversies, but his private nature kept him away from the tabloid spotlight. His struggle with health issues, particularly after retiring from acting, revealed a more vulnerable side. He faced the challenges of aging with a reserved dignity, often shunning public appearances. The last known information about Hillerman indicates he lived a largely private life away from Hollywood's glare until his death in 2017. His legacy remains tied to his distinctive voice and presence, a mysterious figure who quietly shaped the roles he inhabited without fanfare or scandal. Sally Kirkland's role as the cashier in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was brief but memorable, adding a subtle layer to the film's chaotic humor. Though not a leading part, her presence contributed to the film's texture, showcasing her ability to leave a mark even in small roles. After this appearance, Kirkland's career moved through varied paths, often overshadowed by the turbulence of her personal life. She faced significant challenges, including battles with addiction and periods of professional obscurity. These hardships contrasted sharply with her early promise and talent. Kirkland's life was marked by a constant struggle to regain footing in Hollywood, a journey marred by public struggles and private pain. Despite these setbacks, she managed to resurface occasionally, earning critical acclaim in later years, notably for her role in Anna Book. The last known information about Kirkland suggests she continues to live a quieter life away from the spotlight, with few public appearances or updates. Her story remains one of resilience shadowed by mystery, a figure who experienced both the heights and depths of fame. Count Basie's role in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was brief but memorable, adding a layer of authentic jazz cool to the movie's soundtrack and atmosphere. Known primarily as a legendary jazz pianist and bandleader, Basie's presence brought a subtle yet powerful weight to the film's mood. After Blazing Saddles, Basie continued to influence the music world, leading his orchestra through the 1970s with a style that remained both fresh and rooted in swing traditions. His career, however, was not without shadows. Despite his public success, Basie faced significant personal hardships, including battles with health issues that plagued him in later years. He also endured the pain of racial discrimination throughout his life, which shaped much of his artistic expression and resilience. Scandals were rare in his life, but the pressures of fame and the music industry's demands often left him isolated. Basie's final years were marked by a quiet withdrawal from the spotlight, his legacy cemented by his groundbreaking contributions to jazz. The last known details of his life show a man who, despite the darkness he faced, left behind a luminous trail of music that continues to inspire. Don McGowan's role as gum chewer in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was brief but memorable, embodying a tough, silent presence that added texture to the film's gritty, comic western atmosphere. Though not a lead, his character left a distinct mark, largely through McGowan's commanding physicality and understated menace. After Blazing Saddles, McGowan's career shifted away from the spotlight. He increasingly took on smaller roles in television and film, never quite capturing the leading man status he once hinted at. His life off-screen was shadowed by personal struggles. Reports suggest he battled with alcoholism, which affected his professional reliability and strained relationships. There were whispers of financial difficulties and a sense of fading relevance in Hollywood's fast-changing landscape. McGowan's later years were marked by a retreat into relative obscurity, with few public appearances and limited information about his personal life. The last known records indicate he lived quietly, far from the industry buzz, until his death. His story remains a somber reflection on the fleeting nature of fame and the hidden battles behind a tough exterior. Mel Brooks took on the role of Governor Lepitomany in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles, bringing his sharp, satirical edge to a character that embodied the absurdity and corruption of political power. This role was a small but memorable part of Brooks's larger body of work, which often mixed comedy with biting social commentary. After Blazing Saddles, Brooks' career continued to evolve, marked by both immense success and personal challenges. He created and starred in several hit projects, including Young Frankenstein and The Producers, which cemented his reputation as a master of parody and musical comedy. Behind the scenes, Brooks faced the pressures of maintaining his creative edge amid changing tastes in entertainment. His personal life was touched by tragedy, including the death of his son Max in 2011, which deeply affected him. Despite this, Brooks remained a figure of resilience, continuing to work and influence comedy. In recent years, he has largely stepped back from the spotlight, with only occasional public appearances and interviews. His legacy endures as a pioneer of comedic film and theater, though much about his current life remains private and shielded from public view. Harvey Korman's portrayal of Hedley Lemar in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles stands as a darkly comic highlight in his career. As the scheming, flamboyant villain, Korman brought a sharp wit and exaggerated menace that contrasted with the film's satirical tone. This role cemented his reputation for playing polished, yet absurd antagonists. After Blazing Saddles, Korman's career continued with steady work in television and film, notably on The Carol Burnett Show, where his comedic timing and character work earned him 4 Emmy Awards. Despite professional success, Korman faced personal struggles, including a battle with alcoholism that affected his health and relationships. His private life remained largely out of the public eye, with no major scandals, but a quiet retreat from the spotlight in later years. In his final decades, Korman lived away from Hollywood's glare, focusing on family and occasional appearances. He passed away in 2008, leaving behind a legacy marked by sharp humor and complex personal challenges. Gene Wilder's role as Jim in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles stands out as a subtle yet crucial part of his career, showcasing his unique ability to blend humor with a hint of melancholy. Jim the Waco Kid is a washed-up gunslinger whose charm lies in his wit and vulnerability. Wilder infused the character with a quiet sadness beneath the comedic surface, hinting at a man haunted by his past. This role marked a turning point, highlighting his skill beyond slapstick and solidifying his place in Hollywood's comedy elite. After Blazing Saddles, Wilder's career continued to flourish with iconic collaborations, especially with director Mel Brooks and co-star Richard Pryor. Yet behind the scenes, his life was marked by complexity. He struggled with personal losses, including the death of his wife, Gilda Radner, from cancer, which profoundly affected him. Wilder later revealed battles with anxiety and depression, adding layers to his enigmatic public persona. Despite his success, he retreated from acting in later years, focusing on writing and painting, seeking solace in quieter pursuits. Wilder's later life was shrouded in privacy, with few public appearances or statements. He passed away in 2016, leaving a legacy marked by brilliance and shadows. His story remains one of a gifted artist wrestling with inner demons, a man whose laughter often masked deeper pain. Ivan Little's portrayal of Bart in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles marked a defining moment in his career. His performance as the sharp, quick-witted black sheriff navigating a hostile, racist town showcased his talent for blending comedy with a powerful social message. Little brought a unique charisma and depth to Bart, making the character memorable beyond the film's satirical surface. After Blazing Saddles, Little continued acting but struggled to escape the shadow of his iconic role. He faced the challenge of limited opportunities in Hollywood, often typecast or overlooked for leading parts. His career included stage work and television appearances, but personal hardships shadowed his life. Little battled cancer in the late 1990s, a fight that ended with his death in 1992. Despite his early passing, his role as Bart remains a symbol of breaking racial barriers in film comedy. The last known details of his life reveal a man who, though facing illness, left an indelible mark on entertainment history. David Sharp's role as Man in Suit in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was brief but notable for its subtle presence amid the film's chaotic humor. His character, though unnamed and without dialogue, contributed to the film's layered atmosphere, embodying the faceless authority figures often satirized in the movie. After this role, Sharp's career veered away from major cinematic appearances, with few significant acting credits to his name. Beyond the screen, his life was marked by struggles that remained largely out of the public eye. Reports suggest he faced personal hardships, including battles with addiction and financial instability, which shadowed his attempts to maintain a foothold in Hollywood. Despite these challenges, Sharp showed resilience, occasionally resurfacing in smaller projects and local theater, though never reclaiming his early momentum. The last known information about him is sparse, with no recent public appearances or interviews, leaving his current status and whereabouts uncertain. This absence adds a layer of mystery to a figure who once briefly touched the spotlight before retreating into obscurity. Patrick Labyorteaux, Rose Henry. In the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was a brief but notable entry in his early career, showcasing his ability to inhabit characters with subtle intensity. Though not a leading role, Henry's presence added depth to the film's ensemble, reflecting Labyorteaux's emerging talent. After this film, Patrick's career unfolded with a mix of television roles and sporadic film appearances, but his trajectory was marked by challenges beyond the screen. Despite steady work, he struggled with the pressures of Hollywood's spotlight, facing personal hardships including battles with depression and the difficulties of typecasting. His life was shadowed by moments of isolation as he navigated the complexities of fame and personal identity. There were no major scandals tied to him, but his quiet resilience in the face of industry volatility defined much of his journey. In recent years, information about Labyorteaux has become scarce, with few public appearances or updates, suggesting a retreat from the public eye. His last known activities hint at a preference for privacy over publicity, leaving his current life largely a mystery. Tom Steele's role as the townsman who falls from a chair in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles is brief but memorable, showcasing his physicality and timing in a moment of comic chaos. Known primarily as a stuntman and actor, Steele brought a rugged presence to his roles, often performing his own stunts with a fearless edge. After Blazing Saddles, his career remained rooted in stunt work and smaller acting parts, though he never reached major stardom. His life off-screen, however, was marked by shadows rather than spotlight. Steele faced personal struggles, including bouts of depression and financial instability, which were rarely publicized but hinted at in interviews with colleagues. There were whispers of disputes within the stunt community over safety and recognition, adding a layer of tension to his professional life. The last known public details about Steele are scarce, with no confirmed reports of his activities or whereabouts in recent years. This lack of information has only deepened the enigmatic aura surrounding him, leaving his story partly untold. Slim Pickens portrayed the role of Taggart in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles, embodying a rugged, no-nonsense character who added a gritty edge to the film's twisted Western satire. Pickens brought his signature blend of toughness and humor to Taggart, a role that leveraged his real-life experience as a rodeo cowboy and his deep, resonant voice. After Blazing Saddles, Pickens continued to work steadily in film and television, often cast as cowboys or military men, but his life off-screen was marked by personal struggles and a complex character. He battled health issues later in life, including heart problems, which shadowed his final years. Despite his tough public persona, he faced the loneliness and challenges common to many actors of his era, often feeling typecast and limited by Hollywood's narrow roles for character actors. His marriage endured ups and downs, and rumors of personal hardships circulated, though he remained largely private. Slim Pickens passed away in 1983, leaving behind a legacy tied closely to the American West's mythos. His last known public appearances showed a man weathered by life yet still captivating in his presence. Today, his work, especially as Taggart, remains a testament to his unique place in film history. Alex Karas's portrayal of Mongo in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles stands out as a raw and unforgettable presence. Mongo is a towering, simple-minded brute whose sudden bursts of violence and surprising moments of humor create a striking contrast. Karas brought an intense physicality to the role, drawing on his past as a professional football player to embody the character's brute strength. This role marked a significant departure from Karas' earlier career, which began in the NFL with the Detroit Lions. After retiring from football due to a gambling scandal that led to a suspension, Karas shifted to acting, where his tough guy image was a natural fit. His personal life was marked by struggles, including battles with alcoholism and a high-profile divorce that exposed the darker sides of his fame. Despite these hardships, Karas found success on television, most notably in the sitcom Webster. In his later years, he was diagnosed with dementia, a condition that slowly dimmed the sharpness of a man once known for his fierce presence on screen and field. He passed away quietly in 2012, leaving behind a legacy of complex roles and a life marked by both triumph and turmoil. Richard Farnsworth's role as the sheriff in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles was marked by a quiet, understated presence that contrasted sharply with the film's chaotic humor. His portrayal offered a grounded, almost weary figure who seemed to carry the weight of authority without the need for loud bravado. This subtlety made his character memorable despite limited screen time. Farnsworth's career after the film shifted toward more dramatic and often somber roles, where his rugged, weathered appearance added depth to characters grappling with internal struggles. He was nominated twice for Academy Awards, reflecting his respected status in Hollywood. Yet behind the acclaim, Farnsworth faced personal hardships, including a severe injury from a horse fall that led to chronic pain. This physical suffering, combined with the emotional toll of aging and illness, cast a shadow over his later years. In 2000, after a diagnosis of terminal cancer and increasing pain, Farnsworth took his own life, a tragic end that revealed the hidden battles beneath his calm exterior. His story remains a poignant reminder of the fragile line between public success and private despair. Dom DeLuise' portrayal of Buddy Bizarre in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles stands out as a sharp, satirical jab at Hollywood's vanity and excess. His character, a flamboyant and self-absorbed director, is a mirror to the industry's darker underbelly, exposing the egotism and moral ambiguity behind the scenes. This role was a departure from DeLuise's usual comedic persona, revealing a more complex, biting side to his talent. After Blazing Saddles, DeLuise's career took a varied path marked by both success and struggle. He became a beloved character actor, known for his larger-than-life presence in films and television. Yet, behind the scenes, his life was not without turmoil. He faced personal hardships, including battles with health issues that remained largely private, and the strain of balancing fame with family life. His marriage to actress Carol Arthur was a steady anchor, though rumors of professional jealousy and tension occasionally surfaced in Hollywood circles. Despite his jovial public image, DeLuise wrestled with the pressures of typecasting and the fleeting nature of fame. His struggle to break free from the comedic mold sometimes led to frustration and a sense of invisibility in more serious roles. In his later years, he focused on voice acting and directing, areas where he found creative freedom away from the spotlight. The last known information about Dom DeLuise, before his death in 2009, reveals a man who had embraced his legacy while quietly confronting his mortality. His final years were spent largely out of the public eye, devoted to his family and personal interests. The mystery around his private battles adds a somber layer to his otherwise vibrant career, leaving behind a legacy tinged with both laughter and the shadows of unspoken struggles. Madeline Kahn's portrayal of Lili von Shtupp in the 1974 film Blazing Saddles stands out as a bold mix of seduction and satire. Her character, a sultry German chanteuse, used humor and charm to disrupt the film's Western setting, showcasing Kahn's sharp comedic timing and fearless embrace of absurdity. This role cemented her reputation as a unique talent, capable of blending wit with a provocative edge. After Blazing Saddles, Kahn's career continued to thrive with memorable roles in films like Young Frankenstein and Clue, where her distinctive voice and expressive performances made her a standout. Despite this success, her personal life was marked by struggles. She faced health issues, including a battle with ovarian cancer, which ultimately claimed her life in 1999 at the age of 57. Her illness was kept relatively private until her passing, adding a layer of mystery to her final years. Known for her vivacious spirit and sharp intellect, Kahn also experienced the pressures of Hollywood's demanding environment, which sometimes clashed with her desire for creative freedom. Her legacy is one of brilliance shadowed by hardship, a reminder of the fragility behind the laughter. The last known details of her life reveal a woman who, despite facing serious illness, remained dedicated to her craft and beloved by peers. Madeline Kahn's story is a blend of light and darkness, her performances continuing to captivate audiences long after her death. Blazing Saddles remains a bold and unforgettable film that broke barriers with its sharp humor, and fearless take on race and Western cliches. The cast, from Cleavon Little's breakthrough role as Sheriff Bart to Gene Wilder's chaotic Jim, faced unique paths after the film. Little struggled to find roles that matched his talent, while Wilder balanced comedy with more serious work, showing his range beyond the laughs. Mel Brooks, the mastermind behind the film, continued to push boundaries in comedy despite some industry resistance. Watching Blazing Saddles today brings a mix of laughter and reflection on how it challenged norms in 1974. Did you catch this film during your childhood? What memories or stories connect you to it? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's celebrate the lasting impact of this classic